On the 40th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast, we're going to talk about how the MLB has started and with a bang, some NFL new rules. The March Madness is getting hot. We're going to talk about some NBA news, and we're going to end it off with some Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? Roll it! Welcome to HatTrick Sports, starring your host, Isaiah Carpenter. Bringing you the biggest sports headlines every week. This is the HatTrick Sports Podcast. All right, so we're first going to talk about the beginning of the MLB season. There's a lot of new faces in the MLB, a lot of new stuff that we've learned, a lot of stats in general, a lot of good and bad things, and we're just going to kick it off with some new faces. So it's weird seeing some of these players in these new jerseys, like Shohei with the Dodgers. Juan Soto is doing incredible with the Yankees. Blake Snell recently signed with the Giants. Corbin Burns with the Orioles. Hader with the Astros. Glasnow with the Dodgers. Hoskins with the Brewers. Sonny Gray with the Cardinals. Matt Chapman with the Giants. Chris Sale with the Braves. So it's weird seeing these new faces in these uniforms. You just don't expect to see them, and then the new uniforms aren't looking good, especially for Yankees guys, because they have that gray uniform kind of texture, and the sweat is sweating through the jerseys. It's not a good look for the MLB. It's not a good look for these the Fanatics and Majestics making the jerseys. It's just not good in general, seeing more cons than pros in these new jerseys. Again, I don't think they're going to change it. I know the players don't love them, and I know the fans don't love them, like with the smaller letterings and stuff. So hopefully they get that fixed next year. I don't know if they're going to try to fix it this year or not. Mookie Betts has been doing insane with the Dodgers the last week since opening day. We're watching their, I believe, 6th game of the season right now. But so far in his first 5 games, he has a 6.11 batting. Mookie Betts has a 6.11 batting average, 4 home runs, and a 2.109 OPS. That is insane. If you have a batting average over 330, you're absolutely insane. And Mookie Betts is doubling that. I know it's only been 5 games, but 4 home runs in 4 straight games. It's unbelievable. We'll see if he hits another one in this game right here. And the Dodgers, we were filming this on the night of Sunday, March 31st. On the 30th, the Dodgers had a rain delay, their first rain delay since 2015. Not the tarp guys, the field crew, not the field crew. Equipment, what is that called? Whoever does the tarps. Oh, I had it here. I forget what they're called. They finally got some playing time after, 9 years? It does not rain often in LA, so it's good to see the tarps being used once again. Maybe they expired. I don't know how often they changed the tarps out, but it's good that they still work. And they got back up and running 35 minutes later or so. And Yamamoto, in his second start with the Dodgers, again last night on the 30th, looked absolutely incredible. 0 earned runs, only allowed 2 hits. I think I saw 5 strikeouts. Yep, 5 strikeouts, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits. Absolutely insane. This is what the $300 million is worth for the Dodgers. Not what we saw in Japan. Again, we'll leave that in Japan. Doc said, hey, just bring your American self here and just pitch worth $300 million. And that's what he did. And then, unfortunately, they blew it. Their bullpen blew it. I don't know if it was a little rain or Joe Kelly balking. A lot of stuff going wrong with the Dodgers to lose that game last night. But again, as long as Yamamoto looks good, we can lose a game if we get to see Yamamoto get to do well. Again, I would like to win that game, but beggars can't be choosers. Julio Rodriguez, this is the first time I found this out. He has not had a walk-off, hit, walk, home run, nothing in the minors or majors. I know he's somewhat new to the MLB. His rookie year was last season or the season before. But the fact that he won Rookie of the Year and was one of the best players the last couple of seasons and hasn't had a walk-off is wild to me. Now I understand he bats higher in the lineup and that doesn't work well and for hitting walk-offs in the ninth inning. But for his entire minor league and major league career, he has not hit a walk-off until last night. He had a walk-off hit, and you could tell that he really enjoyed that one. What else do we have here? We have Juan Soto absolutely doing insane again with the Yankees. When he's on point, he's on point. I'll correct myself. I said that I thought he was going to be a bust in New York, but he has proved me wrong. He has 15 at-bats. He has a .533 batting average and 2 home runs now. Or no, sorry, 1 home run. That batting average, I believe, went up today, so don't quote me on that. At the time of me writing down my notes, he had a .533 batting average with only 1 home run. Again, by the time this comes out, it might be a little bit more, as with all these stats, too. The Astros, or I apologize, the Trashstros are officially horrible. You heard it here first. They have started off the season 0-4. That is insane. The last time they started off the season 0-2 was 2011. I couldn't find the last time they went 0-4, but the Yankees are 4-0, and the Astros are 0-4, and I thought those roles were going to be switched. So maybe the Yankees have potential. Now, I know it's the first series, but I think the Yankees potentially have potential to make it to the World Series. After watching that first series, now the Astros, you could argue, is the best team in the AL, and if the Yankees can beat them, again, ALCS, Astros, Yankees, maybe see a rematch of that. Maybe they come off and win that series. But man, the Astros did not look good in the series against the Yankees. Their bullpen absolutely sucks. I think I heard 16 runs allowed in the 3 or 4 games, something like that. Absolutely horrible. And then MLB has started off with some quite unbaseball-like, I'm not going to say instances, but I'm going to say instances. 3 bench clearings as of 3 official days into the MLB season. Absolutely insane. We have Rhys Hoskins versus Jeff McNeil. The main event, UFC 299. Hoskins v. McNeil. We have the Brewers versus Mets. And so, for you guys that don't know, Hoskins slid into McNeil. McNeil didn't like it. McNeil lost the ball on the transfer, and I think he was taking that out on Hoskins. Now, I understand that he bent his leg and that it was a legal slide, don't get me wrong, but it was a little bit dirty. The slide was a little dirty. McNeil went off on Hoskins. Now, there are videos in the past of Hoskins being a little bit of a dirty player in that form, kind of like the Manny Machado with the Dodgers. But again, it was wild. So I made a statement saying that, do you think this will have an effect later in the season? And then the very next day, the Mets throw at Hoskins. Absolutely insane stuff happening. So the first stage, we'll call it day 1. So the McNeil-Hoskins thing, the bench is clearing. Nothing too much happened. McNeil yelling at Hoskins. Hoskins, you're kind of running away. You kind of see him running away, then making the crying face. The next day, Ramirez, a reliever for the Mets, throws behind Hoskins. First of all, it's the 7th inning. Why aren't you throwing at him in the 1st inning, getting him hurt? I still don't fully understand that. Maybe he was the only pitcher that was like, yeah, I'll do it for my teammate. I'll be a good teammate. I know that doesn't make any sense, a good teammate by hitting another guy. But why are they doing it in the 7th inning? But he throws behind Hoskins. Why not just hit the guy? You are a major league pitcher. You can throw it 95 plus miles an hour. Why can't you hit him? He's a bigger, he's not a skinny little guy like a twig. He's a bigger guy. You should be able to throw a 95 mile an hour fastball into his ribs, and you missed it. You did your job wrong. Again, if you're going to throw at somebody, actually hit them. Now, I'm not promoting throwing at people. Don't get me wrong on that. I don't think that you should intentionally throw at people. But if you're going to do it, do it. And you're going to get suspended either way, if you hit him or not. So why not just hit him, stick up for your teammate, be like, hey, Jeff McNeil, hey, I'm your buddy, I'm your guy. But he misses. Another bench is clearing. And Ramirez was suspended for 3 days. 3 games. They are currently appealing this. So it's not, it's official, but they're appealing, maybe getting a shorter suspension time or something. The Mets manager, Carlos, also got suspended for 1 game. Already served that. No point of appealing. 1 game, just to end off the series. So that part's out of the way. He's done his time, and that was his 3rd game. He got suspended on his second. Or the incident happened on the second day. I'm assuming the manager told Ramirez to hit Hoskins on the 3rd day. That's his 3rd day on the job, and he's already telling guys to hit him. Now, I think that shows the GM and the owners, like, hey, I'm going to stick up for our guys. I'm going to be a player's manager. But it also shows that, hey, is he going to be one of these guys that's just going to be a little baby about it? I don't know. We'll see later in the season. Again, we've seen 2 days of him. He's been suspended 1/3 of his total coaching career. But we'll see about that. Now, for the 3rd bench clearing of the week, Cabrera is the new Draymond Green. I think that's valid to say. As he shoves Rays shortstop Jose Cabrera, after hitting a single, I think it was a single and then 2 errors. So there was a bunt down the 3rd base line. He makes his way around. So he makes it to 3rd and kind of pushes the pitcher. Or sorry, he doesn't push the pitcher. They're like bickering for a second. Then the pitcher just kind of does a shove, if you would. Shove is, I think, the correct term. And then, again, bench is clearing. What else do I have on this? Cabrera was ejected and is suspended for 3 games. Also appealing that suspension as of the time of filming this. Again, I think he'll have to serve minimum 1, probably 3. And then the 4th big baseball-related non-baseball thing that happened is the A's are once again boycotting Oakland. Not Oakland, the team. Oakland is boycotting the A's. So, again, it's opening day. You imagine a sold-out stadium in every single stadium. As you would, it's opening day. It's a big deal. The A's had a total of 14,000 people in their stadium. That is not a lot. That is not enough to keep income coming. Not good for the owner, and I think that's why they're going to move to Vegas. But day 2, that went down almost 500%. 3,000 fans on day 2. That's like a stadium to yourself. That's a section to yourself. You could probably get behind the plate seats just for free. The stadium, whoever owns the property manager, I don't know. They're extending their lease they're offering to extend their lease for 5 years with a 3-year opt-out. So while their stadium is being built in Las Vegas, they can still play there. I don't know if they signed it yet. As of the time recording, they have not signed that yet. But it's an option up there that Oakland's going to play, the A's are going to play in Oakland for the next few seasons if that ends up going through. And this is your opening day injury report. We have Lewis leaving in the 3rd inning due to quad injury. Scary, scary sight. Watch that live. Again, you don't like seeing guys hurt on the first day. You saw Gavin Lux last year in spring training. You don't like it. You don't want to see it. No matter what team you're on, you just don't like seeing guys get hurt that early in the season. Let them prove what they're worth. Let it be a fair game. We have Max Kepler left in the 8th after a foul ball hits his knees. He has no more knees, according to unreliable sources. Luke Jackson left in the 7th inning due to back injury. See a chiropractor, that's all I got to say. And Justin Steele left in the 5th inning due to hamstring strain. Again, get a massage to go. The only one that I saw live was the quad injury and the foul ball to the knees. We got a few signings for the MLB this week. Jordan Montgomery signs with the Diamondbacks. Again, the Diamondbacks, Padres, and Dodgers are going to be 3 of the scariest teams in the West, I think. In my opinion, I know that might be a hot take, but I think all 3 of those teams will have a chance at the West. I think the Dodgers will be up there, but I think the Padres and Diamondbacks won't be far behind. The Yankees acquired John Birdie from the Marlins. I've seen that guy play a few times in Miami. Again, nothing special. If I didn't live around the Miami area, I probably wouldn't know who John Birdie is. But again, I think the Yankees are starting to see that they have a chance this season. Again, they're undefeated for the season. One of 4 teams, the Yankees, the I want to say the Tigers, the Pirates, and there's one other team as the time of this filming that is undefeated. But I think the Yankees just want to get some guys, get up. Again, they're known for paying for guys, so they're going to pay for guys, even if it means for however much money. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air signs a 10-year, $140 million extension with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yes, you heard that right. 2 years to the day exactly after Will Smith and Chris Rock had their altercation at the Oscars. 2 years later, Will Smith, the Dodgers player, signs a 10-year, $140 million with the Dodgers. Hollywood's a very crazy place. Coincident, Illuminati, you decide that. But I thought it was funny that was exactly 2 years later. Shohei, I know this is a little old by the time this comes out. It'll be a week or two old. But Shohei does do a press conference with no questions, talking about the Ippei situation. Again, I don't know what to think of this. I think the Constitution says that you're innocent until proven guilty. I have no reason to think that Shohei is guilty. But he basically said everything that we knew that he was going to say, whether it was true or not. I'm not here to decipher. I'm not a judge. I didn't go to law school. I didn't go to Harvard. But some new stuff that we heard was that Ippei told the Dodgers clubhouse about what happened. Shohei was there. Again, can't really understand fully what's going on. So then America hears about this because this is all happening in Japan. All the news writers writing to America. Everybody in America knows. Then on the way to the hotel, they get to the hotel. Ippei talks to Shohei, and awkward conversation is my guess. And as I know, that's the last time they've talked. And what we know is that Ippei potentially lied, potentially didn't. I'm going to wait for this case to hold out, and then I'm sure it's going to be a big thing after whatever happens. Might be a few months, might be a few years. Shohei is not being held accountable for anything at this point. And Ippei, again, we've proven that he's a liar about a lot of things. So what else is he lying about? He changed his mind about all the questions that the ESPN reporter was asking him. Not looking good for Ippei at all. And we also now know that the Dodgers have a new and improved Will the Thrill, the new interpreter coming out of retirement. I actually don't know if he was ever in retirement, but we're going to say it for the bit that he came out of retirement from Ken Maeda to come with Yamamoto and Shohei. Will the Thrill, great guy. Don't know much about him, just know that he stepped up when the Dodgers were down. Talking to Yamamoto when he was having that rough start, interpreting Dave Roberts in one ear, out the other, through the mouth. Whatever you got to do, Will the Thrill's my man. Second favorite Dodger at this point. Shohei's number one, then Will the Thrill's number two. Underrated player for the Dodgers organization at this moment. MLB does not like the Dodgers. Now, you might be saying, what, Rob Manfred's like not punishing Shohei or anything? Why would you send the Dodgers back to Japan, Tokyo, Japan, not back to Japan, Asia, sorry, not good at geography, send them back to Asia after everything that's happened so far in Asia and the Dodgers in the last few weeks? So there was the I don't know if I could say this on TikTok, the boom threat, we'll call it the boom threat on Shohei. And then, obviously, the Ippei scandal all went down in Japan. So what would make the MLB sane to make them go back, opening series with the Cubs next year? There's a world where Yamamoto and Shohei both pitch in that Tokyo series, which I would be very excited for. It would mean the same as this year, even though Shohei and Yamamoto would have already played. But if they both played in Tokyo, I think that would be great for the international MLB, like MLB trying to go international. I know they're trying to expand their playing, again, taking it to England, Canada, Mexico series, whatever. But imagine those two. Imagine those two against the Cubs. Again, Cody Bellinger, if he's still with the Cubs at that point, against the Dodgers in Tokyo. I think that would be a great series. Again, I know the Dodgers are going to have some flashbacks when they're back in Asia, but I think it'll all be worth it in the end. And I think they start off the season 0-2 if those are their two starters for that game. I mean, Yamamoto and Shohei. If Shohei's still good pitching, I mean, that could be lights out series. I mean, that could be the series heard all around the world. You hear in the Seoul series, they tied the series 1-1, like whatever. The first game was cool. The second game, everybody was worried about Ippei and everything. Nah, I think in Tokyo, if it's Shohei Ippei, everybody in the world's gonna know about this one. So there are a lot of, with the MLB season coming up this season, 2024 could hold a lot of milestones for a lot of players throughout the MLB. So I didn't look up all of them because I don't have hundreds of hours in the week, but I looked up some milestones that these players could end up getting this season. So we have Max Scherzer has pitched almost 2,800 innings. He needs 200 more to get to 3K. Kershaw is at 2,944 strikeouts, 56 away from 3,000. That's big and is probably doable. But the thing is that he signed with the Dodgers, but he's not going to be back until at least the All-Star break. So from the All-Star break to the end of the season, can he pitch 56 strikeouts without getting injured or anything happening? I don't know. I'm hoping that they extend him until he gets that milestone. I think that's a big milestone. 3,000 strikeouts is absolutely insane. Paul Goldschmidt is at 1,909 hits, 91 hits away from 2,000. If he doesn't get hurt this season, I think that is very doable. If you get 4 at-bats a game, let's say you play every game, 1 for 8? Is that what that is? I think that's 1 for 8. So, I mean, if he's batting 200, he has it already. We have Freddie Freeman is at 473 doubles. He only needs 27 more to hit the 500 doubles. Again, that's not a big stat, but that's good enough where you could tell you're at Thanksgiving with your friends and family, hey guys, I just hit 500 doubles in the major leagues. I mean, that's a big deal. Mike Trout is 32 home runs away from 400 home runs. That would secure him as probably, unless he's already established, is he a top 20 baseball player of all time? I think he is. I think until Shohei came up to the league for about a 10-year span, he was the best player ever. So I think if he hits that 400, he would be considered top 20 and potentially top 15, top 10. He might creep up there. I think that's all I have for MLB. Again, we'll see this week starting off. We're still in the opening series after this series. Again, we'll have more series going on, and I'm sure more news with the suspensions and the A's boycotts and stuff. And now I just checked, the Dodgers are losing 2-0, which is not very good. But on to the NFL. A lot of NFL current and former players are very mad about this new rule. So the hip drop tackle is unanimously banned. You're not allowed to have the hip drop tackle. One of the more popular tackles, smarter tackles in the league, and NFL is just like, we can't have these injuries. And I think there's other ways to go around these injuries instead of just starting banning stuff. But I mean, J.J. Watt was livid about it. I heard some other defensive coordinators and linemen mad about this. But I don't know a whole bunch about tackles, so I looked up some of the most popular. There's the form tackle, the thigh and drive tackle, the thigh and roll tackle. Again, I know what they look like. I just don't know the names of them. But it's unfortunate to see the hip drop tackle because I feel like I noticed that one quite often, and maybe it just sticks out from the other tackles. But again, NFL, you got to let them play the game at some point, right? Like, make better pads, do something better besides banning different plays. Some top free agents that are still free agents that haven't signed yet is Ryan Tannehill with the as quarterback. Now I'm gonna look up at his age, but the first time I remember watching him was when he was with the Dolphins, and he is 35 years old, so he might not resign. Born in 1988, you're starting to see those guys fade away pretty quickly. So I know 35 is pretty old for a quarterback. People thought when Tom Brady was 35 that he was going to retire. He ended up 5 more years. But Ryan Tannehill isn't one of those kind of guys. I think he's just kind of mid his whole career and at a lower point in the more recent years. I don't have his stats up in front of me right now, but I don't know if he's going to resign. People are saying he's going to sign somewhere, but I don't know where. And then OBJ, I wasn't sure how old he was going to be. My guess was going to be 28. He's 31 years old. So he's going to sign somewhere is my guess. But again, he's at that point where 2014 was the peak of his career. You cannot say anything about that. But again, I think he's going to start slowing down if he does get signed. I think he will get signed, but whoever he signs with, I think he's going to start slowing down. In this case that I saw earlier this morning, Rashi, I don't even know how you say it, Rashi? Rashi Rice? Am I saying that right? How is this? Rishi? All right. Rishi Rice. His car was involved in a hit and run. Again, nothing full story has come out yet. All I've heard and read on is that a Lambo and another car were trying to race each other, and I don't know which one was Rice's, but one of them was his, and they got into a crash leading into like a what is it called? Goldberg crash? I don't know what they're called. Where there was like 4 cars that just boom, 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 like just crashed into each other, and apparently they fled. Now, I guess authorities aren't sure if it was Rice or not, like if he was in the car, if the car was stolen or something, but apparently, I don't know too much about this case, but they can't find him, I guess. I don't know if they can't find him or if he hasn't turned himself in. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but all I know is that his car was involved in a hit and run that left 4 guys injured. 2 of them had to be hospitalized. I think they're going to survive. I don't think any of them were fatal. But again, you hate to see that. You hate seeing professional guys get in trouble because it looks bad on the league for guys that don't look, for like people in general that don't like the NFL. It's just not a good look. I think that's all I have for NFL. Again, slow time for NFL. The draft's coming up soon. When's the draft? April? Yeah, early. So we have a few weeks till the draft. We'll see what happens there. But now on to March Madness. What a week for March Madness. I clicked on the wrong thing. So I had, I had Baylor winning it all. Baylor got knocked out by Clemson. The 6 seed Clemson knocked out Baylor. Then it was Baylor, Arizona. Clemson, Arizona. And Clemson beat the 2 seed Arizona. And Clemson went to Alabama, the 6. I believe there was the 6 seed. Yeah, the 6 and 4 seed met in the Elite 8. Alabama did end up winning that. But wild stuff has happened. Today, a couple hours ago, we saw Duke absolutely blow it against NC State. Not expecting that. I was going to record this before that game was going on, and I'm glad I didn't, because I was going to say that Duke was going to win. Or sorry. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. So I was going to say that Duke was going to win it all. And yeah, that's just wild that the 11 seed is in the Final Four. Like, I don't know how many of you guys have the bracket at any 11 seed making the Final Four, but it's just crazy. Now, Purdue is going to beat them. I would say that Purdue is going to dominate NC State. I think they're head over heels a little bit right now. And then on the left side of the bracket, we have UConn and Alabama. UConn absolutely destroying Illinois. 30 unanswered points is unequivocally making Illinois look like a pickup basketball team. How do you not score a point in 30 Illinois? Now, they started the game off 7-0 UConn. I was watching the game. I was like, is Illinois ever going to score? Then you just see UConn go, boom, 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 boom. Illinois, just missing, backboard. How do you go 30 unanswered points in the Elite 8? You're in the Elite 8 for some reason. And it's, I understand you could have potentially good defense and still win, but man, giving up 30 and not scoring any is bad defense and bad offense combined. Now, I know UConn was favorites to win to begin with. Dave Portnoy potentially $2.6 million on the line for these next couple games. But man, UConn lights out over Illinois. So we're in the Final Four. It's UConn, Alabama. I think UConn, or Yeah, I think UConn will win that. And then NC State, Purdue, I think Purdue will win that. And I think Purdue, UConn were, especially for people that don't watch college basketball, we're pretty high in the championship rounds. Again, if you're just going like the 1, 2, 3, 4, you know how people do that. But UConn and Purdue, and then I think UConn wins it all now. Again, if 3 hours ago, I would have said that Duke was going to win it all. But man, yeah, I think UConn, again, coming off of that Illinois, just flipping baskets. Alabama, again, North Carolina was hard to beat for them. It ended in it ended in like free throws or something, right? Or I forget, it had some crazy ending. I don't think I wrote it down. But man, UConn's, I think, going to dominate Alabama, and I think Purdue's going to dominate NC State. I wish they were closer brackets. I wish it was like the 1 and 3 or something like that. But so UConn, Purdue, and then I think UConn wins it all. That's my bracket. By the time I film the next episode, it will be one day before the championship game. So again, it'll be my guess. Oh, it'll be the day of the Final Four. I'm sorry, I mistaked that. So we're not gonna talk about that if we film that in the morning. Just realizing that. All right. So we'll see next week. Maybe I change my mind next week. Maybe we talk about some news that's come up. But they have a week to rest, recover, hydrate, do whatever they got to do, and then it's real stuff. Final Four. All right. On to NBA. Draymond Green is, if he wasn't in the NBA, probably would be a convicted felon at this point. I mean, he's just getting ejected. He had a tech with the ref. I heard that he touched him. I didn't see him touching him. I just heard him like absolutely arguing stuff, like very upset about it. Draymond Green needs to be stopped, though. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys saw in the press conference with Draymond, like his 2 kids were like arguing and they were like hug it out. Like Draymond needs to take some of that into his own hands. Just like calm down. It was 3 minutes into the game. He got ejected. Steph knows that Draymond is a crucial part in this Golden State team, and Golden State isn't doing that well this season. If I believe, I'm going to look up their exact record. Yeah, they're 10th. They're 10th in the Western at 39-34. Again, Draymond is a crucial part of that team, and if he's getting suspended and ejected every other game, again, that can't happen if they want to make a run for it, and I think it's too late to make a run for it at this point. So 3 minutes into the game, got a text and ejected. Steph upset about it. Victor Wembanyama puts up a 40-20, first time done by a rookie since Shaquille O'Neal, the big boy center himself. 40 points, 20 rebounds in the same game. Wild. Again, I didn't watch the game. I saw the stats and everything about it, some highlights. But man, 40-20 is absolutely insane. I'm going to look up the final score of that game and see what percent was his points 20 game. It was 1 day ago. All right, I'm going to look up Sorry about that. Wemby. So rookie, an exclusive company with Shaquille O'Neal for the 40-20. I can't find this moment the exact score of the game. But, I mean, it must have been a high-scoring game if he's getting 20 rebounds and 40 points. And, again, when we were talking about Ipe and the gambling scandal, Porter, not looking good for him either. They're looking into it. Again, prop sheet, something along those lines. Again, I don't know much about the case. Not going to say if he's innocent or guilty. Again, Constitution says innocent until proven guilty. But NBA is looking into an investigation with a gambling scandal once again. So I think that's all I have. So that means it's on to Hall of Fame. Yay or nay? So I did not choose one, and I was looking up Reese Hoskins' stats, and this is going to be disappointing for a lot of people. Hall of Fame year Rhys Hoskins, because I forgot to pick one ahead of time. All right, so he has been playing since 2017 with Philly. Oh, man. 7 seasons, a total of 670 games played, 2,900 plate appearances, 2,400 at-bats, almost 400 hits. Not looking good for him so far. Now, again, he's only been playing for 7 years. Career WAR of 11.2, 150 home runs, a 243 batting average. Yeah, no, this is a big nay. This was a big waste of your time for even watching this. Just this segment. Watch the rest. But, man, I wish I picked one earlier. It's just last minute. Yeah, it's a nay. I mean, you can't go into the Hall of Fame with a 243 batting average. You need to up that WAR up a lot. Like, you wins above replacement needs to be above probably 5 in a season to be, like, up there. Yeah, no, not good. Not a good Hall of Fame year for this episode. Next episode, I promise I will be doing one that's even better. But Rhys Hoskins, Hall of Fame year big nay. Again, been playing for Phillies and now the Brewers, obviously. You talked about him earlier. Big nay. But I think that's it. So thank you for watching the 40th episode of the HatTrick Sports Podcast. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out on YouTube for all the visuals, short-form content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Go to shophattricksports.com for some apparel. New merch coming soon. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 41. Bye.